A good layout works. A good layout is the arrangement of type and art. This includes photos, illustrations, or other graphics on paper or on screen. How can you tell if a layout is good? A good layout works. It organizes and it attracts viewers. It must do all three of these things in order to work. For a layout to work, it must get across your message quickly and in an appropriate manner. It must be organized so the reader can move smoothly and easily through the piece, and the layout must stand out from its competition in order to attract. Knowing how to combine these three criteria is the key to making layouts good every single time. Does your layout set out to do what you want it to do? You have to know the purpose of a piece before you begin to design and lay it out. Getting the answers to a few simple questions up front is going to help give you clear guidelines for creating a good functional piece. Ask your client, what is the purpose of the piece? What message should the reader or viewer get? Who is the audience? Where will it be seen, or how will it be distributed? Knowing the answers to these questions before you begin designing is going to make it easier to decide how the piece should look. If you're working on a poster, for instance, keep the layout simple with a few elements and large type so it can easily be read at a distance. To help your layout to function, you need to go ahead and determine the piece's main message and plan the layout around it. Choosing a photo or a graphic that supports that message is key. The size of the piece to fit its use. If it's a brochure, make it a size that can easily be held and then filed. Keep in mind where the piece will be seen. If it's a magazine, the title should easily be seen from where it's going to sit in the rack. Keep the target audience in mind when sizing photos and choosing type sizes. Make everything larger and easier to see if the audience is older, for instance. Check any restrictions that may affect the end result. The post office has regulations on size, weight, location of information, and type of fold. Choose a paper stock that will work in the end output. Choose a light paper and dark ink if the piece is to be reproduced on a photocopier or home printer. Make sure that the logo and contact information are always clear and readable at all the sizes that they will be used at. A good layout organizes. It's your job to help your readers to get through the piece easily. If they have to work at reading it, they won't bother. To make something good, effective layout, make it easy to follow. Arrange and emphasize information to make your message as clear as possible. Think of this as drawing a map to show a stranger how to get somewhere. Choose what the reader should see first or read first. Where should it be? How will you make it stand out from everything else in order to show them where they should start first? Then decide what comes next. What words or pictures will be best build upon the first bit of information, and how can you make that as clear as possible? What's going to separate it from the information that will come after it? Continue arranging and emphasizing, or maybe not emphasizing, all the information until everything has been seen and understood. The better you organize and lay out, basically direct your readers, the faster they're going to get your message. To help organize a layout, use different sizes of types. Headlines are bigger than subheads, for instance. Put colors behind important areas of information. Use rules to separate information into groups. Change the weight of type. Use semi-bold. It kind of stands out, but bold really stands out. So choose when each one would be appropriate. Use white space. It's okay to leave areas of white space around information. Don't be afraid of white space. Pick the best location. The upper left corner, in Western countries anyways, is usually read first. So think about that when you put your layout together. Align similar kinds of copy together. Show that they are related. Put pictures next to important copy. These attract the eye and help reinforce the message. Put type in a box or give it an interesting shape. Call out items by putting bullets in front of them. Change the style of type. Use a different colored reverse type, like white on black, to separate and emphasize. A good layout attracts. A piece can't communicate unless it gets noticed. In order to get noticed, it must stand out from the crowd by being different from everything else around it. Depending on the piece, that can mean startling, pretty, unusual, simple, direct. How do you know which one to choose? The approach that you'll probably use is going to depend on the piece. It's going to depend on the audience, who's going to see it, and it's going to depend on the environment. Where will it be seen? A person in a black suit and tie would not stand out at a black tie affair, but they would certainly stand out at a beach party. Newspapers look gray. They're made up of a lot of type. So if you're going to make an ad for a newspaper, make it with a lot of black or a lot of white. It's going to attract more attention because it'll be different from the overall gray color of the newspaper. To create an attractive layout, enlarge a photo of something small, like an insect, so it's going to cover the entire spread. Tilt an image or a block of copy so it's at an angle. Surround a very small picture or bits of type with lots of open space. Choose bright colors when the piece will be viewed in a gray environment, such as a text-heavy magazine. Use a solid black area or a large white area for a newspaper ad. Crop an image in an unusual way. Show, for instance, just an eye and not a whole face. Use a very large type for a thought-provoking or humorous headline. Make the piece a different size and shape from other similar pieces. For instance, if everyone's using a number 10 envelope, try using a square envelope. Choose a paper with an interesting, noticeable texture or color. Set important information in an atypical way. Set a headline on a curve or try a script font face. So what is a good layout? A good layout works, it organizes, and it attracts. It must do all three of these things to be effective. A good layout works. It does what you set it out to do. You need to know what the purpose of the piece is and who it's for and where it will be seen and how it will be distributed. A good layout organizes. It maps out the visual path for the viewer to follow. It shows what comes first, second, third, etc. You must order your information to make your message as clear as possible. A good layout attracts. It needs to grab your reader's attention and pull them into your piece. It has to stand out from the crowd and be different from everything else around it. In order to achieve a good layout, be willing to experiment. The process is similar to doing a jigsaw puzzle. Keep putting in the pieces in different ways until they all fit comfortably. There's no one correct way to make a good layout. There are many solutions to make a piece work, to make it organized, to make it attractive. Always refer back to the three questions. Does it work? Is it organized? Is it attractive? If you can answer yes to each one, you know your layout is good.